I think for many Christians, it has just been such a powerful thing, the Lord's Prayer. There's a professor of Middle Eastern Studies, Kenneth Bailey, and he teaches Middle Eastern studies and also some New Testament studies, and he talks about how he had the opportunity to go to Riga and share at the Latvian Lutheran Church right after the fall of the Soviet Union. And he says he got there and he's at this church, and the majority of the people in the church are 25 to 35 years old, and he's blown away because there's all these people who are walking with Jesus. And he talked to one young lady in the church and he said, "How did you come to faith in Christ? Being a part of just this atheist state where the Bible wasn't taught. Did you have a church in your village?" And she said, "No. The communists closed all the churches." "Well, did you have a grandmother who taught you the faith as a little girl?" She said, "No, all of our family members were atheists." "Well, was there an underground church that you were a part of? Did you have a Bible hidden away that you could read?" She said, "No, there was no Bible that we had, and there was no underground church." He said, well, how was it that you came to faith?" And she responded, and he writes, he says that she said this: "At funerals, we were allowed to recite the Lord's Prayer. As a young child, I heard those strange words and had no idea who we were talking to, what the words meant, where they came from, or why we were reciting them. When freedom came at last, I had the opportunity to search for their meaning. When you are in total darkness, the tiniest point of light is very bright. For me, the Lord's Prayer was that point of light. By the time I found its meaning," she said, "I was a Christian." Isn't that beautiful? The Christians throughout the last 2,000 years, they've testified to the power of this prayer. It's sort of like a lighthouse of the Christian faith. The African theologian Tertullian wrote in the 2nd century, he said this: "In the Lord's Prayer we find the whole record of Jesus' instruction, so that without exaggeration, a summary of the whole gospel is to be found in this prayer." A century later, a bishop who would go on to be martyred for his faith, he died for following Jesus, St. Cyprian, he said this: "How great, dearest brothers, are the mysteries of the Lord's Prayer. How many, how magnificent, gathered together in a few words, yet abundant in spiritual power. There is nothing whatever with regard to our pleading and our prayer omitted, nothing not contained in this summary of heavenly doctrine." The Lord's Prayer is like this beam of light of the gospel. It's a summary of heavenly doctrine. It's a picture of the whole gospel.